Hi, welcome to another episode of Coffee and Whiskey with Ivy. This week, I read the papers and saw how Japan and Singapore are so similar. We have workforce shrinking, we have old people, and we have a problem in our construction industry, agriculture industry, nursing, hotel, and shipbuilding industry. So Japan brings in Vietnamese and Chinese workers. We already have Filipinos, Indonesians, Malaysians, Indians, Bangladeshis, and now we're thinking of bringing more Sri Lankans to work as caregivers and as maids. Why is it these two countries cannot convince their young people to do these kind of jobs? Is it because they want to get it cheaper, better and faster? Or is it because the planners do not know what is going to happen seriously by 2025 when none of these workers are going to come here and work for cheap prices? So we should seriously look at what's causing Japan to do that and what's causing Singapore to do this. I like this. Our Prime Minister tells CNN Singapore is not repressive. He is absolutely right. It is not repressive. That's why Coffee and Whiskey with Ivy is such a popular show and nobody has ever phoned me to tell me I should stop it. We are not a repressive society. Asian dilemma, how to fund big projects? Very simple. Stop buying guns and bombs to shoot at each other. What we should do is to help our neighbors, like what China is doing. They are very good with their Belt and Road project. It will make transportation a breeze so that all of us can travel to work, all of us can travel to visit countries, and all of us can help each other. This constant topic of schools in Singapore, student diversity, time to rethink admission policies. It is not about the system. It is not about the admission policies. It is about the fact that most of our schools, the elite schools, are in District 9, 10, 11. So the answer is not to tweak the system or admissions. The answer is that all of these so-called good and elite schools in District 9, 10, 11 must have more baby schools in the heartlands. So if you increase the number of MGS to about 8 or 10 all over Singapore, ACS to 8 or 10 all over Singapore, Raffles, St. Anthony's Convent, Singapore Chinese Girls' School, if all these so-called good and elite schools have 8 to 10 baby schools in HDB estates, then I think we will increase the base of these schools. If you say that the top 10% of these schools are good and elite schools, so you're only talking about 35 good and elite schools, right? But the rest of them are what we call neighborhood schools. So how to improve these schools? You must put in better teachers, bring in native English-speaking teachers and pay them well to improve the quality of the teaching. It's got nothing to do with the admission system. It has everything to do with where the good schools are located and why only these schools are encouraged to have such good quality teachers, and the quality of the teachers is not the same everywhere. Perhaps it's the plan of the leaders to have only 1% of their pupils well educated so that the 99% are just workers. PMDs and e-bike sees too big, too heavy, too fast. This e-scooter rider admits to causing hurt. This poor lady in a coma. Simple answer. Please separate the use of the pedestrian path, the cycling path, the bus stop, so that we do not need to have another 10 people in a coma before we move to take action. Congratulations, this guy has done so well. You know, Singapore was a center of movie making years ago, and I'm happy to see that we are beginning to make another headline, and I hope he actually wins in next year's Oscars. Singapore director Chai Yee Wei's short film, Benjamin's Last Day at Katong Swimming Complex. His film won the short film top prize at a festival, and there's a possibility he'll win an Oscar next year. Well done. This whole section covers climate change, climate warming, pollution, etc., etc. And it's amazing how many articles I picked out to highlight this problem. You know, if you think plastic straws are a problem, it's not. The biggest problem is man. And you should read Adam Minter's article, which says plastic straws aren't clogging oceans, it's old fishing nets. It is yesterday's phones that's causing great pollution. Plastic rings that are killing the birds. It also does not help that Antarctica is losing its ice twice as fast as 6 years ago. The warming in the world is also causing fewer veggies to be grown, so food will become a problem. And that is why in China, they're trying to make the chickens fatter by using, obviously, growth hormones. And is this going to help our kids when they grow up? At home, we have a problem with poaching, right? How is it possible that this menace is happening in our country? And this poor deer being killed. You know, we should seriously look at what's causing all these problems. It's all man-made. We should look at this illegal list of things around Singapore, and instead of just punishing people, perhaps have a special permit for them to keep these creatures, and we should get AVA to check them regularly. Because if we make it so illegal, it goes underground, it becomes worse. We're not solving the problem, we're just pushing it further and further down underground. Luckily, on Saturday, June 16, the Straits Times produced this wonderful page section called Impact. You can see that there's so many young people who are inventing things, ideas, change, etc. to make the world a better place. From eco-friendly edible spoons to these Singaporean girls doing something for women's health. If you look at the center page, you know, every country has got some young people who are really trying to make the world a better place. And this is the greatest and latest invention, plastic film you can compost. So don't lose heart. I'm confident our young people in the world are on the right track. Thank you for watching Coffee and Whiskey with Ivy. Please remember to subscribe so that you can be told when the next show is on.